Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Mr. Chandler Halderson. Now, we have day one of the trial. We have the prosecution basically opening up with the statements and, creating like a good narrative for what to expect and what they're going to try to prove. Now, I would be scared because at the beginning, this guy has zero notes. No notes at all, just going off the top, and he sounds eloquent and perfectly put together. So, yeah, defense should already be swaying. But let's get into this opening statement.
I'm the Deputy District Attorney of Dane County. Yesterday, you met Andrea Raymond. Together, we're the prosecutors in the case. You heard a little bit about how the process worked in jury selection, and you probably thought you were being strung along the whole time, and in a bit you were. Everyone was trying to gauge your knowledge of the case, maybe any preconceived notions you had about the criminal justice system. Ms. Vera asked you a lot of questions about what you would think if she did nothing and sat there, and those were good questions. I won't do nothing in this case because it would be a very short trial if I did. You're going to hear from me and Ms. Raymond quite a bit. Our job in a case is to present evidence. That means to call witnesses. The judge talked about what evidence is. When we think of evidence, sometimes we think of, especially a murder case. You're in a murder case, you think of the gun. And you'll get that. There'll be a gun. You'll see that. But evidence is so much more.
I like how he just hinted in there, spiced in. And he's like, and you'll get that. If you were waiting to hear something about a gun, it'll be there. A gun was involved. All right.
The first thing evidence is the first thing the judge mentioned. Evidence is first the sworn testimony of witnesses, both on direct and cross-examination. When people raise their right hand and they swear to tell the truth, that's evidence. Now, you as jurors can decide whether you believe it or not. Does this person have any bias or prejudice? Do they have anything to gain by what they're saying? Do they have anything to lose? What I expect to prove beyond any reasonable doubt is that on July 1st, 2021, somewhere between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., Chandler Halderson murdered his parents.
How do you even get to that mental capacity? Now, the other guy that we covered, he had addictions, like severe addictions to online activity. But this guy, he was going to school, He got a job at SpaceX, or he was about to move to Florida to work at SpaceX. He did work at home, but at first I thought he was just a bum, not a lowlife, but just a bum who lived at home. But he was getting it in.
But the story doesn't start there. And this trial wouldn't be 3 to 4 weeks if the trial ended there. The story starts a week later, on July 7th, 2021, nearly a week after killing his parents, but no one in the world knowing. Chandler Halderson walks into the Northeast Precinct of the Dane County Sheriff's Office and says, I'd like to file a missing persons report.
All right, now, I'll say two things. He's a dumbass, one. But two, after you do that and your parents just disappear and then finally somebody realizes it, say it's a month later, crazy, somebody reports it, and they'll say, oh, you live with them and you never reported that? You would look suspicious. So he definitely had to report it, He can't just not report it, because if he doesn't report it and he just keeps living his life, then he'll definitely be number one suspect. So he put himself in a jam right there. He definitely put himself in a jam. Now, if he didn't live at the house anymore, he would have been in a different situation. But since he lived home and he sees them on the day-to-day, you fucked yourself.
You'll meet them today. And he gives a long story. Having come back from the cabin.
They went to the cabin.
They were there this weekend.
Okay.
We have a cabin up north. It's in White Lake, up in Langlade County. It's pretty far up north, a couple of hours. They just haven't come back yet. They were going to come back Monday or Tuesday, and I don't know where they are. Who were they with? The deputies ask. I don't know. I helped him pack.
For someone who was going to work at SpaceX and had this really dope IT job and all this shit, he really came up with a shitty excuse. He helps them pack, they go, they disappear. They're never to be found. What kind of weak explanation is that?
Thursday night. They must have left Friday early before I woke up at 6. Who'd they go with? I don't know. Where are their cars? Well, they're still at the house. What'd you help them pack? Bottles of liquor, lots of money, tools, silver bars. Why were they going up there?
Lots of money, tools, and silver bars. Okay.
Some people they were fixing a window. Some people there was a plumbing issue, storm damage. The story varied.
But why the money?
Sometimes they took just money. Sometimes they took just liquor.
Jeez.
But over that day and the next, talking to numerous sheriff's deputies, detectives, including those detectives, he gives this bizarre story of his parents leaving in an unknown car, going to a cabin with an unknown couple, with an unknown amount of money, for really an unknown reason.
Oh, he was making a spicy story. He was saying they went with a couple. They were getting all spicy up there. They took the money. They were going to run away together. It got crazy. It ended up in somebody killing the other. He was writing a whole screenplay. I could imagine it. In a different vehicle, of course, right? Because, if he took them out, then the vehicles will still be there. He can't do everything. So, okay, we'll cover that up. They went in the other couple's vehicle that I don't know who they are. Okay, Haraldson.
So sheriff's deputies do what cops do, which is they ask him, have you heard from him? And he says, yeah. Oh, I got a text from my mom. And he did. He showed him his phone. Made it safely. This is from Crystal Halderson to Chaz. That's what his family calls him. Not Chandler, they call him Chaz. Made it safely. Can't get anything through, though. Yes, it's packed. Going to White Lake today for the parade.
Love you lots.
We'll be home Monday night, Tuesday early. I love you lots. So at this point, the sheriff's deputies don't know what they're dealing with. These folks get up there and decide, now we're going to go to the casino for a few days. We're going to play hooky. Didn't make a lot of sense. They started talking to coworkers and realized these people had never no-call, no-showed, missed work, which they both did on Friday. Did they crash their car?
So yeah, if they never no-called, no-showed, you already know there's a problem. Either there's an issue, they died, or something like that. Because if someone has a track record like that, they're not just going to miss work for no reason. No call, no show? They're in their 50s? Come on. They're more responsible than that.
Did this other couple kidnap them?
That would be a wild story.
Where the hell are they? But what good police do, and what they did in this case, is they start looking into the people who saw them last, who were with them last, who reported them missing. And in this case, all three of those things, the person who purportedly saw them last,
oh, gee, I
was
wonder
with
who.
them last, and reported them missing were the same person.
Chandler.
It was Chandler Halderson.
Like I said, ladies, you can't name your kids Chandler no more. Scrap it out the book. We can't do the Daryl. We can't do the Chandler. None of those names. They're out of here. We can't do it. Sorry. Pick another one. Chandler's played out anyway. Sorry to all the Chandlers out there watching. You guys are special. Not you guys.
The police started to look into Chandler Halderson. This is all occurring in the same 24-hour, 48-hour period. And what they learn about him isn't suspicious at all. He's a Madison College student, MATC. They go by Madison College now, if you didn't get the email. Madison College student. He's about to graduate. He's studying renewable resource engineering, kind of a hybrid IT degree with solar panels.
Renewable resource engineering. So basically solar panels plus, solar panels intro. But yeah, he was probably, going to know how to build them or repair them. Probably more so in the building phase, creation phase, if he's getting a job at SpaceX. So
panels, things of that sort. He's about to get a certificate. But things had looked bright for him. He'd recently been working at American Family Insurance. He's working from home like most of us the last couple of years. But he's working a good job at American Family Insurance. And not only was he working a good job, Chandler had just gotten a better job. He got hired at SpaceX. He was about to embark on a career that people in the IT field could only dream of. He's planning to move to Titusville, Florida. That's where SpaceX operation is down in Florida.
Titusville, Florida.
With his girlfriend. They'd rented an apartment. They'd bought a car. And not only was this not someone who was antisocial, he was pro-social.
So, I mean, I have to go back on the other one. I guess he's not that much of a man child. Yes, he does do some stupid shit, but I mean, he did, which does make things even worse because he did have a plan. You know, he was on track to really doing some things in life. You know what I mean? And now all that progress is just down the drain.
He was working with the Madison Police and the Department of Natural Resources on their rescue diving team. He was a scuba diver, working with the police. The only thing that was a bit odd is he'd recently suffered a head injury. Fallen down the stairs, had terrible concussion, was unable to move for the most part, had to wear a neck brace. He was permanently, perhaps injured. All of those things threw police off from thinking it was Chandler. He had anything to do with this. And at that point, for all they knew, as sad as it is, Bart and Krista and an unknown couple were crashed into a ditch somewhere between here and White Lake, Wisconsin, dead from a car crash. So they started looking. Deputies are sent up north. The Langlade County Sheriff's Department is searching a cabin. No one had ever been there. It didn't look like anyone had been there at all in years.
See what I'm saying? So why are you going to make that story if your family never goes to the cabin? Like, that just makes me feel like he's just dumb. Like, that's what makes me feel like something really out of passion happened. He just did it. And I hate you guys. And he did some crazy shit. And then he had to fill all the pieces out to not go to jail, even though it clearly failed miserably for your boy.
It was run down. The grass hadn't been mowed. There was no food in the refrigerator. No one had been there. So the police expand their search, and they start talking to not only just Chandler, people about Chandler. They start talking to people who were with Chandler that weekend. Specifically, they talked to his girlfriend, a young girl named Catherine. She goes by Cat. And Cat says, I was with him like all weekend. We had a normal 4th of July weekend. We went out to my family's farm. We got a farm. There was a pool. We ate dinner. Chandler was having the concussion issue, and he couldn't really move his legs, and so he asked to use their pool the next day because he thought that was good therapy. So the police, what do they do next? They go talk to the person who owns the farm. And they say, was Chandler out here? And she goes, yeah, he was out here on the 4th of July. But you know what? He showed up the next day by himself. He showed up the next day by himself. I told him he could come back anytime, as we just say to people, not expecting they're going to roll into your house the next day.
He actually came back.
She says he was acting bizarre. Said that he had a doctor's appointment and they'd given him some bad news that he was going to lose his job at SpaceX because he couldn't travel. He couldn't attend to orientation to start. And she goes, he asked to use the pool. And of course I said yes. This woman will testify and she'll tell you that she sat in her house for a while, perhaps a bit weirded out that someone had just shown up at her rural farm. But she let him have his space.
Now, why is he out at the farm? He just came back the next day after the nice 4th of July. Remember, the 1st is when this shit took place, right? And now they're just chilling, having 4th of July, chilling out, you know, come back anytime. He comes right back the next day. That shit's weird. Low-key, I would have told him, like, we're kind of busy today. I know I said anytime, but that was bullshit, bro. Get out of my yard. Like, what's, you know what I mean? I wonder why he's there.
But about an hour later, she goes down to the pool to check on him. He's not there. No one had opened the pool. No one had been in the pool. But she sees his car. It's parked out in the field.
Dude. Dude, I wonder how much investigative work they had to do because my guy, I mean, I would have called the police. Case closed. They would have found that shit the next day.
From the pool, backed in toward where that grass is a bit longer.
Oh, God.
And had its hatch up. She thought, boy, that was strange.
She thought,
maybe he's just on a walk. So she goes in the pool. She said, I'm just going to go in the pool. If you remember that weekend, it's extraordinarily hot. She starts swimming. She says, then I see Chandler. He's walking out of the woods in that area.
What the?
Now, at this point in the investigation, the police are out there with this woman. They're out on the farm, and she says he walked out over there.
Oh, wow.
And you'll hear from the detective, Detective Brett Baverstock, who was out there. And he'll tell you that his eyes kind of shifted up, and he saw vultures.
Oh, shit. Oh, wow. Your heart must drop. Like, not even, like, out of, like, fear or sadness, but, like, you're just a police officer out here walking, chilling. She's like, oh, yeah, he went out here. He was being really weird. He was in the bushes. Honestly, lady, you didn't find that weird a few days ago? But anyway, you're like, oh, okay, let me look. He's viewing. Then he's kind of like, I don't know if you guys know what vultures look like in person, but they have like this hunch neck. They're like real ugly, but they have a distinct silhouette. So if you look up in the sky, you see their crooked ass wings and their bent little neck. They're very distinguishable creatures, right? He saw vultures. Immediately I would know I had my guy.
And I promise the photos are only going to go this far for right now.
For right
but
now.
The police walked about 20.
Sadly, on YouTube, they only can go this far. That's why I'm thinking I need to make a Patreon so I could just show the raw shit on Patreon and then just soup it up for YouTube. But you guys gotta let me know if you're even interested in like actually signing up and doing all that shit for Patreon. But for now, chop, snip, snip, the things that we can't see up here.
20 yards into the woods, and in that pile of debris, under dozens of sticks, bushes, and dirt, they found Bart Halderson.
Bart Halderson. Aren't there so many better ways of disposing of body other than like going to someone's? Maybe he thought he was a genius. He went to the house, 4th of July, had his good time with his girlfriend, scouted it out while nobody's looking. He's like, there. I can put the body right there. Next day, he comes back with a bullshit excuse. What he should have did was sneak in. Now, don't take no ideas. You're going to get caught listening to me. But he could have just snuck in. The property's big, take your chances. Sneak out there and dump the body. Why would you go there and pronounce your presence and say you want to use the pool? You don't even get into the pool. That's idiotic, bro. Like, he's dumb. He's not thinking.
Now, when I say they found Bart Halderson, I need to explain that.
Oh.
They found a human torso. Someone had crudely chopped off the head, the arms, and sawed off the legs in the middle of the thigh, leaving the underwear on.
Wow.
And the beginnings of the pants.
Damn. Oh, he went off. He went off on them. He was like, yep, I need to collect these little parts, make them more compact. Now, all I'm saying is you went through all of that, make them nice and compact, like a meat storage. And you couldn't bury them 6 feet, bro? You couldn't drive out somewhere and bury them 6 feet, create a story, and then go off that? Bro, you're dumb. Create a story. When the heat comes to you, get a lawyer. And, fight your case another day. But nah, he goes and just throws them in a pile of sticks.
They removed the sticks and brush over a course of a few hours. They brought out doctors from the medical examiner's office to make sure everything was done appropriately. They rolled the torso over. There were gunshots in the back. This man had been shot in the back.
Damn.
And chopped up. At this point, the farm, beautiful farm, cultivated for years with wildflowers, kind of an Eden of sorts, was turned into a...
Bro, shut up. This guy could sell you a red pin if you were wearing white. This guy is out here is like, yeah, a once beautiful, kind of an Eden of sorts, now tainted by death and vultures. Like, bro, okay, we get it. My guy is out here doing the absolute most.
Crime scene. Police swarmed the place. Drones were in the air. Cadavers, dogs were on the ground. Everyone's looking through absolutely everything they could, but it's a farm. There's a million places things could be. But one detective said, look at that in the woods. Is that a garbage can?
Bro,
full of a tarp?
this is actually wild, bro. You're going on an Easter egg hunt for human beings.
It was. And I'll tell you, that tarp was taken to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab eventually. Bart Halderson, Krista Halderson, their blood is all over it. Another detective said, that spot where Chandler was walking out of the woods, there's an oil barrel there, like an old fuel tank with a hole in it.
Oh, let's check it.
That's right where the car was parked. So she peeks her head in,
Oh.
and that's what she sees.
Oh.
Broken saw blades.
Bro, guys, the tools that you take, don't just throw them in a hole. This guy, okay, I'll tell you what he did. I'll tell you exactly what he did. You know what illegal dumping is? It happens a lot in California. There's so much shit everywhere that people just pull up to the side of a road, pull up to some bushes, and just dump, skirt, drive off, gone, never to be seen again, right? He did the same thing. Instead of methodically finding a place, throwing it into a river, finding a well, doing whatever you need to do to make sure those things never resurface, right? He went and did some illegal dumping with human bodies. He went to the forest, threw them out, threw some sticks, got the tools, threw them inside that rusty thing over there. Skirt! Out of there. Out of there, bro. Gone. Now, see, this works with illegal dumping because nobody gives a shit. Now, when people die and there's records of people missing, the police are obligated. The police still don't give a shit, but they're obligated to solve it. So I should say most police don't give a shit. You know, it's just another case. But at the end of the day, human life being lost is a lot larger. And this is just stupid on very, very high levels. He had a hacksaw. Crazy.
Handsaws, scissors, tree loppers.
What the heck?
All of them tested by the state crime lab. All of them covered in human flesh and blood of Bart and Krista Halderson. The farm was searched extensively, and I'll tell you that some months later, things were even continuing to be found. Up to this fall, in October, the homeowner, the person who owns the farm, was tearing apart a barn trying to clean it. And there in a barn about 100 yards from where Bart Halderson was found, the murder weapon.
He's an idiot. Okay, 100%. He wanted to be caught, or he's just a dumbass. You're going to put the firearm that you used in the barn house. Keep that in your mind, people. Let's say it again. You're going to put the firearm that you used to knock this person down with inside the barn of the people that you just spent 4th of July with. You're absolutely dumb. If there's 100 different ways that top this option.
Behind a bunch of boards.
I promise you.
On the side of the barn. At this point in the investigation, the police knew they needed to start talking to Chandler. He's seen coming out of the location where his dad's body was, just brutally chopped apart.
That took some
Tools,
balls.
the cutting instruments are found there. So they do what police do. They bring him downtown. But they ask him, and he's at the house, and they ask him and his girlfriend to come downtown with them. And they do. And that girlfriend, Kat, is in one room, and Chandler is in another. Chandler, and you'll see this, we'll play it, for over an hour meets with police, and again regurgitates this odd story of his parents with this missing couple in a random car.
Yeah, sure.
Going places that no one really knew. You got to exclude the people closest to him first. Or Kat, in the other room, she's vomiting information to the police. Literally.
Vomiting information to the police. Spilling the beans. I like his girlfriend already. Let's meet her. Hit her up for me. Tell her to join AG Tactical Gang.
Really vomiting at times, but also vomiting information in terms of she has her phone out. She's giving them pictures. She's providing every single detail she can because she'll tell you when she testifies. She's one of these people that watches these crime shows. And she knows when someone's missing, You got to exclude the people closest to him first. And she
I like her for real. Oh, she would watch my shit for real. She would be on AG Tactical checking this thing out. She'd be like, yeah, Oh, hold on. If she was watching me, though, she would already have the red flag out for her boyfriend. Come on.
She thought, that's what we got to do. Chandler didn't have anything to do with this. I didn't have anything to do with this.
Of course he did.
We got to get to the people who did. And the first step is we got to exclude us. She didn't for a second think that Mr. Halderson had done anything wrong. She thought she was with him most of the weekend. And I'll tell you right now, Kat did nothing wrong. Kat was an unknowing, unwilling accomplice to some of this, but she did absolutely nothing wrong.
Whoa, chill. Don't tell me he had the people in the car while he was driving with her, because I bet you that's where they're going next. Man, this thing is like a soap opera.
She'll tell you she liked Mr. and Mrs. Halderson. There were the normal disputes you'd have with your boyfriend or girlfriend's parents. Maybe you want to go out a lot and they don't let you. Maybe you want to hang out more than they don't want to. But she liked him. Her phone is full of messages between her and Mrs. Halderson. Friendly in all respects. Kat meets with police not just once, but multiple times. And in one of these meetings, she says, you know what was weird? Is this weekend, when I was with Chandler, while his parents were at the cabin, I left the house early one day, on Saturday, in fact, Saturday, July 3rd. And she says, he told me he was going to do chores that morning around the house. But when I looked at my Snapchat, I saw his location was in a weird spot. If you don't know, on Snapchat.
See, this is why my location is off on Snapchat. I don't even use Snapchat, to be honest. Snapchat is too invasive. It is, but it isn't. You can turn the location off. Boom, there you go. But yeah, that thing will track your ass. And if people are looking at you all day and you're posting stories and you forgot that little thing was on, you're going to see your little bobblehead and people could just see where you're going all day long. He messed up, bro. He shouldn't have even carried his iPhone out there. Not thinking, bro.
You can set it up so that other people can see exactly where you are. A GPS tracker on you at all times, if you will. Chandler had that set up with his girlfriend. And she goes, it was so weird where he was. I took a screenshot of it on my phone. And that's what it showed.
Chandler was she's snitching on the kid. She's straight up. You know what was weird? I think my boyfriend did it. Check this out. We should lock him up, huh? That's the type of time she was on.
This hubby in her phone. That's perhaps a term of endearment between two folks dating in their 20s. But she said, at 8:58 in the morning, when he was supposed to be doing chores on Saturday, July 3rd, I thought it was strange that he was in what appears to be a forest on the banks of the Wisconsin River near Prairie du Sac.
Hey, babe, did you see this? Your Snapchat seems to be messing up. Like, that's crazy. I even took a screenshot. Oh, no, babe, don't even worry about that. Yeah, it must be messing up. I wonder if she asked him about it.
The police took that. They identified immediately where that location was, just based on looking at it. That's a bridge. Couldn't be hard. Out they go. The drones go up. The dogs go out.
The drones go
up. The search
up.
team
The dogs
starts
go
searching.
out.
Very quickly.
I bet you 30 minutes
later.
later.
And I promise this is as far as the photos will go. They find the remains of Krista Halderson. Now, when I say Krista Halderson, I have to qualify that as well.
Remains of
We found her legs.
Oh.
One complete leg, then somewhat farther away in another bush, a foot, a thigh, but the same pattern.
Dude. My guy went Texas Chainsaw Massacre on these people. When I tell you this guy did not hold back. Shit, they found her legs. Okay. That shit would scar me when I'm talking to my grandkids, smoking a pipe like, yes, kids, so let me tell you the story about when I found some goddamn legs in the forest. Like, what? Freak them kids out.
Crudely cut apart. what appears to
What
be
does that mean? Hit me up in the comments. What does crudely cut apart mean? He said crudely like twice. I need to look it up. Nah, I'm gonna wait for y'all to tell me. I don't know. Crudely cut apart, does that mean he cut them in obscene areas, or he just quickly cut them apart, like crudely? I don't know.
handsaws, axes, things of that sort. No more of Chandler Halderson that's identifiable to her will ever be found. She's just those two legs.
Wow. So some Jurassic Park shit. Remember when she was like, "Oh my God, Doctor Blah blah," and the hand falls, that on some straight Jurassic Park. But no dinosaur did this shit. A 23-year-old man did that.
At this point, the police thought, this is just a strange location. Why would Chandler be out there?
What?
He'd been out there before.
To dump a body, dog.
And they started talking to people, including girlfriends of his in the past, friends of his. And they say, yeah, Chandler really liked this location out on the Wisconsin River. He'd go there all the time. It's where he'd go swimming. When his friends came into town, that was the secret swimming spot. And one friend even said, you know what? Last year he sent me a picture while he was out there.
Oh,
Kind of
wow.
shirtless, hanging from a tree with a machete. I don't know. Didn't have a lot of significance at the time when the police saw it, but eventually someone realized the tree looks unique. Interesting V pattern right there. The hollowness of the tree as it goes down.
You can find that
The way
tree.
in which 5 of those branches.
Now, let me tell you something. I'm from the bushes, my guys. Let me tell you something. From the age 3 to age 3 to 14, right? I was in the bushes. Do you see that background? Imagine a house and 6 neighbors and a dirt road and lakes and tigers and shit. That's where I was at. Okay, so I'm a bush kid. And I know my shit. But when I tell you you can find landmarks, if you're determined, you really can. Because we would go on adventure walks and shit like this, you know, and you would remember places and be like, damn, I really want to find that spot. It had the coolest rocks, or it had, you know, we have like these little temples in Belize, and it's like they have all these little artifacts and shit. Jade, you know, the little green stone. So we're like, yeah, we want to find that. Stuff like this, if you're determined enough, you can find things like this again. So it's not crazy to think, hey, let's go back out there and find the exact same tree. People do it all the time. It's called good tracking.
Branches branch off. And eventually one of the detectives realizes why. Something clicked. It was the exact location he ditched his mother's remains.
Damn. Yep, that's the back end of it, bro. Damn. So he went and took his mom to his favorite spot. That's kind of sick if you ask me. Just if you ask me. I don't know. Maybe other people don't think so. That's kind of fucking sick, guys. You know what? It probably wasn't any significance, to be real. He just knew the place. He knew how to get there. And he thought no one else knew. That's what I'm assuming. But what he's dumb about is that when the heat comes down on you, they really start to flush your life out. So they'll talk to your friends, your family first. He should have known that.
That's about 100 feet away. So obviously, it shouldn't come to anyone's surprise, at some point Chandler was arrested.
So you think going to your favorite spot and going about 100 feet away is solid, right? That's foolproof. So you dump your dad over there at the ranch, right? You put him under some sticks, and then you throw your mom away at your favorite spot. The guy has an IQ level of a 30 right now, and he's going to SpaceX. Shit, let me apply to SpaceX. I'll do you guys. I'll do you all right. Don't worry.
In fact, he was arrested on July 8th, 2021. When you're arrested for a lot of crimes, you go to jail, you get booked in, and not much more happens investigation-wise after that. They have what they need. But of course, that's not the case in a murder investigation, especially something like this. So Chandler's taken to jail.
Keep in mind, guys, he's sweating right now. This guy has not looked at a note and has not stumbled yet. So that only means to me that this guy has either memorized or studied this material to the point where it flows through them like lyrics to a song. You know what I mean? Your favorite song where you know every lyric pause and drum set. That's him with this case. Be very afraid. You know you're not getting any mistrial, sir. Your appeals worthless. Jail forever.
And the police start searching. When I say searching, you're going to hear about searches of the house, searches of this farm, searches of this property. You're going to hear about searches of landfills and ponds and ditches all across Dane County. But one of the things they started searching.
The police are like, hey, let's get to them tax dollars, boys. Let's go fuck it up. Taxes are going up next year for this city, baby.
Was, what was this guy doing on his phone that weekend? And oddly enough, most of what they found
body
was nothing. Either Chandler hadn't Googled anything all weekend, except for the 8th, or he had deleted his search history. You'll never know.
Check that.
But remember, he was arrested on July 8th, taken to the police station, and that's where they told him, hey man, we know what's going on. So meaning, while he was still on his phone on July 8th, he was still telling everyone his parents were missing. Not just the police. This kid was standing in his front lawn giving media interviews to all the local media outlets about the cabin and the unknown couple and the unknown car. He was going door to door in his neighborhood.
Oh, he's going Chris Watts on us. Go back to my Chris Watts video. My guy did a whole press release. He's like, I really want them back. If they're hurt and they're missing, I'd be mad about that. Like legit. That was his interview. That like I'm not even lying. That was it. Crazy.
My parents are missing. Can you help me out? Do you have any security cameras, by the way? And you'll hear from these neighbors.
Oh.
Some of them were so weirded out by what was going on that they secretly recorded those conversations.
Oh, bro, I would have been one of them neighbors. To be honest, I don't even answer my door like that. If I don't know you and you knocking on my door, or you're that creepy neighbor from over there, I'm not, bro. Miss me with that shit. Like, I got like 6 neighbors here, and I fuck with all of them, right? So it's cool. But if you're like across the street or some shit, and you're like walking up to the man, I ain't recording nothing. I'm not opening no door. Please.
One of them you'll hear was a man who'd only been retired as a detective with the City of Madison Police for about a month. He recorded his conversation with Mr.
Oh, and you went to a retired detective who has nothing to do, who's bored, who has this work ethic that isn't working no more. What do you think he's going to do? My guy's going to create a whole project on your ass.
But while he's doing this that morning, what's he Googling? This is
how
what he's
to
Googling.
Get rid of body.
Body found, Wisconsin. Woman's body found, Wisconsin. Wisconsin dismembered body found.
What the?
We'll come back to the next two.
Oh my God, bro, you're so screwed. You did all of this on your phone. You couldn't go to the library. You could have went to the library, bro. Did some incognito search and. What did he learn in his IT classes? You know, because for all that solar panel bullshit, he had to take some IT classes. What did he learn? He didn't learn about digital footprints at all? Like, come on.
Dead body found in Wisconsin. Body found in Milwaukee River.
Now he's giving them directions on where to go.
He's searching for whether they found his parents.
He's like,
and
I'm sorry. I swear to God, I'm going to stop pausing. Every time he searches it, every hour or so, he's like, oh, shit. Whew. I got away with it. Let's go. Got away with it. Let me search again. No results. All right. Got away with it. All right. Let me check social media. Okay, cool.
Here in this case, he's starting to search because he's starting to get worried because the amount of police in his neighborhood has been ramping up and up and up because unbeknownst to him, they're finding his parents' remains. And you'll hear that while this is going on, while he's Googling these things, he's frantically calling police officers. Hey, why are there more cops in my neighborhood? Calls this guy, Brian Shunk. He records him. What's going on? There's more cops. Did something happen? Did you find something?
Well, I mean, he could be concerned.
The middle ones. State versus Peter Capuzzo.
To be honest, he could be just concerned.
Probably means nothing to everyone. It meant nothing to me when I first saw it. The name rung a bell, and I wondered why. Not only does it show he Googled State versus Peter Capuzza, it showed that he clicked on a link on the Wisconsin court's website and read something. What he read was a legal case, much like this one is the State versus Chandler Halderson. The State versus Peter Capuzza, though, was a case that made it to the Court of Appeals based on some legal technicalities.
Oh.
About a man who dismembered part of his family members.
Oh, don't tell me he found the specific case that was the Joker getaway free card. He was like, all I gotta do is dismember them. And because they're found in different places, I don't know what the rest is. I don't know what the logic was, but that was his get out of jail free card. They're dismembered. Let me go. See? That's what it says here. So it don't work like that, homie. It don't work like that.
Threw their bodies in the river. So at the same time, Chandler Halderson is going door to door in his neighborhood, crying about his parents being missing, talking to the local news, telling sheriff's deputies, signing documents saying they're missing. He's conducting legal research to get himself out of today. So that today never happens.
That's beautiful. That's so poetic, guys. That's so poetic. Just the way how he just thought that he had everything when he really did the worst out of anybody I've ever seen, bro. Like, he did the worst out of, honestly, anybody I've seen so far, bro. Like, the dude did illegal dumping with actual human bodies. He went out there, threw them under some sticks, and dipped out and thought he was going to get away with that shit for real, bro? Like, for real, though. For real? Okay. All right, just saying.
Now, when I started with that calendar a while ago, and I said the police were initially thrown off because of one thing, and that was this text message from Krista. And it's real. I'll tell you, that text message is in all the search warrant returns from US Cellular. It's on the phone that we were able to search. We're not able to search every phone, but some of them are. Made it safely. Can't get anything through, though. Yes, it's packed. Going to White Lake today for the parade. Be home Monday night, Tuesday. Love you,
so
lots.
They actually sent that, or he just used
sent
their
on
phone?
the 4th of July.
Oh, they're dead
So
already.
the police started looking into that. And the first thing they found was White Lake. The parade was on July 3rd. Remember,
It's
the
an
4th of
old
July
tech.
this year was on a Sunday.
It's an
So
old
everyone
text.
celebrated on Saturday. So they started thinking, well, how the hell did this message get sent? So they searched the Halderson home, where Chandler was. And in the garage, under a shelf, in a shoe, wrapped in aluminum foil, was his mother's phone, along with her driver's license.
Oh, wow. This guy thought he was James Bond 007 detective. He was like, yeah, the foil blocks out the signal waves and it makes it invisible to finding a phone inside of a shoe. I'm pretty sure they visually found that phone. They didn't use any devices. They're just like, oh, this shoe has something in it. Oh, look, it's his mom's ID. Yo, this guy is actually quite funny. He's quite hilarious.
Police would later subpoena the records from US Cellular, the cell phone carrier that covers Chandler and the family. And they would look into what cell towers were being used when that message was sent. If you didn't know, all of you probably have cell phones. At any time,
I bet you all the phone companies have, like, every month they have like a list of like murder investigation like subpoenas they have to deal with, and they're like, oh, we have about 10 of them today, you know. They're subpoenaing all these locations, and I bet you the CEO it doesn't like it. That's why I know Apple doesn't really share information. But yeah, you know, the cell companies, they'll show the location. They don't care.
your phone is pinging off of different cell towers. It's not always the same. As you sit here, half of you might be using one tower and half of you might be using another. It's based on the workload of those towers. You'll hear about that. But it's generally an approximate area of where you are. that message on July 4th. Krista there's in pink, Chandler's in green. The message was sent from the Halderson home on July 4th. Chandler sent it to himself.
Yeah.
So at this point, the investigators began to wonder, and perhaps you're beginning to wonder how the evidence will come out. How does this happen? How does this kid, with everything in the world going for him, promising new jobs, school, a girlfriend that loves him, willing to move across the country for him, or even physically, a kid who just suffered this major concussion, was unable to use his legs for the most part. How does this happen?
And that's what we're going to find out, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the start of Chandler Halderson. Yo, the guy, I don't know where to begin, man. The guy is just out of his wits, man. He's out of his element, and he really tried it. You know, he tried. Give him an A++++ for effort, because that's all you could give him. Everything else was a failure. The guy threw the human remains all over the place, didn't bury them, shot him with a gun, put the gun in somebody else's house, then started searching like a madman a week later about dead body found in river, dismembered body found in lake. Your boy did everything wrong. The serial killer, like the Hall of Fame serial killers, would look down at you and shake their head in disappointment, sir. Very bad job. But you know why? It's because he's not one of them people. I don't see him as a psycho. I see him as an idiot. I don't see him as a narcissist. I see him as stupid. I think something happened. We're going to find out what it was that really pissed Chandler off, and he took two of them out and panicked afterwards. He doesn't show me anything that makes me feel like he has this mental situation like other people, you know? Like, yeah, but that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Anyways, people, I love you guys, man. You guys got me up to 4K. You guys are actually insane, you know that? Like, you guys are actually just making shit really move for me over here, and I'm really appreciative. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Until the next one, people, I'll see you later. Stay inside. Stay safe. I love y'all. Once again, I'm out.